After Steve Conroy snuck in behind everyone to get a good scoring chance on an attempt from the far side. Conroy surprised everyone, including Featherstone. Let it go. Roberts goes sliding into the net. And after the whistle, Roberts got up and gave Presley a whack, thinking it was Presley that tripped him. And then Featherstone came in as well. So Presley and Featherstone getting offsetting minor penalties at 2:18 of the second period. Mike Keenan, whose whole scheme all season long was preparing for game 81. Well, he almost never got the opportunity to play that game. But last game of the year against Toronto, his answer was it was game 81 because they played the Russians, and that made it game 81.
Bob Basson will get ready with Zezel off to the right of Millen. Basson out there with Troy Murray and Graham. And Zezel has Brindamore and Paslowski on either side. Now the draw over to the far side, corralled by nobody yet. Then Roberts rolled it to center, and the Blues able to dump it in. Now it's chopped up over the glass and into the crowd. And Manson and Brindamore having words, but that's all for now. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the National Hockey League and is intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Hockey League and Sports Channel and WBBM is prohibited.
Meanwhile, Brindamore hacks at a puck. Basson bumps into him after the whistle, and Manson comes in and has words with Brindamore, and McCreary whistles them both to the penalty box. He does not want this game to get out of control. Another situation developing for coincidental minor penalties. Brindamore, the 18-year-old, and Manson, the fine young defenseman of the Blackhawks, sent off at 2:31 of the second period. Amazingly, Brindamore, 18 years old, 2 years ago, he was playing midget hockey.
St. Louis penalty number 19.
Now ready in the Chicago zone. The draw to Roberts. Roberts looking to center one. It deflects back to the neutral area. Graham hustling. Roberts able to chop it up, though, over the glass and into the crowd.
Derek Graham, a fantastic regular season, 10 shorthanded goals, 33 overall to match his jersey number. He and Steve Larmer, the two most consistent players all season long, with the injury to Savard.
You mentioned his goal-scoring prowess during the regular season. He did much more than that for this Chicago team over the 80-game schedule. Home and road didn't bother him. He was a physical presence either way. And as you can see by the C on his jersey, turning into quite a leader for this club. Here's Troy Murray in the Blues zone. Rolled it back of the net. Tilley there. Tom Tilley shot it by everybody. And icing waved off, so Brown will have to get back and play it. Heath Brown around the boards to Basson. He tries to get it out and did with help from Murray to center, and the Blues are ruled offside.
I think it's so much tougher to be a defenseman today because of the icings that are waved off and the new rule that you can clear the zone to come back on a delayed offside call. No relaxation whatsoever.
Tom Tilley, a brilliant rookie defenseman for the St. Louis Blues. In 7 games so far in the playoffs, a +9. He is the best on the St. Louis team in that plus-minus category.
Very smart player. Obviously, he didn't go to school just to carry his books.
He went to a wonderful institution, Michigan State University.
I won't hold that against him.
That's the best thing ever happened to him. You can't tell that I went there, Ken.
It's one of the top hockey schools in the country consistently, year in and year out.
Yes, sir. Ron Mason has done a terrific job there. Of course, when I was there, they had the legendary Amo Bassoni was the coach. Great man who was there for well over 20 years. Here's the play in the Chicago zone, and Yanni gets it back into the Blues end. Paul Cavallini to play. Cavallini just got it to brother Gino, and he'll dump it in. Larmer back nicely. Steve Larmer dangerously in front of his own net. Then his pass nearly picked off, but he got it back after Dwayne Sutter was able to knock down the Blues player in front. Bob Murray tries Larmer on the left wing board, and he bangs it to the neutral zone. Savard chipped it to the near side, and Bob Murray. Murray on to center one and hit a leg and cleared to the Hawk line. Conroy looking to dump it in, got it to Roenick though. Put it into the near corner. Mahar sends it around the board past Lasky. Couldn't get it out. Roenick. Jeremy Roenick. Into the far corner. Thomas. Steve Thomas muscles his way in front. Lost the handle. Creighton centered it. But it's picked off by Paul Cavallini, and he sends it the length of the ice. The icing whistle will sound. We're 5 minutes into the second period. It's Chicago 2, St. Louis nothing on Sports Channel.
To understand Asia, you have to understand its customs, its mystery, its people. You have to know what makes a good impression and what offends. For over 40 years, we've been learning about Asia. So in addition to our convenient schedules, we can give you something no other U.S. airline can. The knowledge that comes after 40 years of helping people do business in Asia.
Here's the draw. Presley shoots one, deflecting wide. And now the net knocked off the moorings as Gilbert wrestles with Benning. And the linesmen who have been busy tonight and have done well to prevent any major developments. And now McCreary again trying to get a grip on this game. This will be the third set of coincidental penalties here in the first 5 minutes of the second period.
Puck carrying off the end boards to Millen. Benning takes Gilbert into the net, knocking it off its moorings, and then a bit of a wrestling match, more of a hug than anything.
St. Louis penalty number 2, Ryan Benning, 2 minutes for roughing.
Blackhawk penalty number 14.
A slow start to the second period.
At 4:49. St. Louis penalty Benning, 2 minutes roughing. Blackhawk penalty Gilbert, 2 minutes roughing. At 4:49.
First period, much more end-to-end action. It's not a style that Brian Sutter would like his team to get involved in. We've gone back to the Hawks this period are wanting to slow it down, protect the lead, not take any chances. The Blues want to take the crowd out of the game and maybe slow it down, maybe lull the Hawks into sleep and maybe counter and get a break and get a goal to get back into it.
Brent Yanni sends it around the boards. Taken by Dave Lowry. Lowry on left wing to center. Sends it into the Chicago zone. Steve Larmer corrals and motors back to center ice. Larmer gets it in over the line to Savard. Oh, the play is ruled offside. Chicago had a good-looking rush going, and linesman Gauthier hearing it from the Blackhawk bench, but that rush will go for naught.
Larmer picking the puck up deep in his own zone, up the near boards, gave Federico a straight arm at the Hawk line, sprung himself loose and tried to get it to Savard, streaking up the middle. Van Dorp now on the left wing with Savard and Larmer with Gilbert in the penalty box.
Here's the draw. Paul Cavallini's pass to Mahar, a two-line effort, and yet another whistle. It's been a difficult time to get any flow here early in the second period. Rick Mahar, and a very valuable performer for this Blues team, particularly against the Chicago Blackhawks. He, as you have said, is usually matched up against Dennis Savard, and you can't hold Savoir-Faire in check forever, but Mahar has done pretty well in attempting to do that. He's done as well as just about anybody else in the league.
Well, Mahar is such great skaters. He's able to recover if he does get caught.
Mahar credits his meeting a dietitian a couple of years ago, changing his diet for the reason that he's still able to skate as well as he can at the age of 35. He said a couple of years ago he met a woman who changed the way he eats and approaches his diet. He certainly has never been a guy that carries a lot of weight, but he feels like he's extended his career by a couple of years just by eating the right things. He said he was a real junk food bandit a couple of years ago. Here come the Blues, and they score. Steve Tuttle, the rookie, off a pass from behind the net by Momesso, and it's 2-1 now in favor of the Hawks.
The Blues trying to lull Chicago to sleep, and they're successful. They dump it in. Chevrier doesn't handle it extremely well. It's around the corner boards. Momesso, quick pass out the slot. Manson and Yanni together, leaving Tuttle all alone in front. And he tucks it in on the near post. Looked like a harmless play, but all of a sudden the Blues are right back in it. Mahar taking the hit. Manson in behind the net with his defense made in the corner, and Savard couldn't recover to get back to Tuttle, who was left alone. And it's a 2-1 hockey game all of a sudden. Tuttle, his first goal in playoff competition.
Rookie Steve Tuttle had a fine year out of the University of Wisconsin, and he gets the Blues on the board. The Hawk lead cut in half. Here's the play behind the Chicago net. Brett Hull took a bump. Now came loose to Troy Murray, and he failed to get it out. Brindamore centered. Brown there to pick it off. Heading to center ice. And it's ruled to be a two-line play.
Blackhawks had plenty of guys back in that situation. They just weren't in the right position on the ice. Two defensemen not in front, one in the corner, one behind. Everyone bunched in together, and Tuttle snuck in behind, and on a nice pass from Momesso.
Assisted by Momesso and Mahar at 5:44.
Mahar, not the biggest guy in the league, but he took the hit in the corner to keep the play alive, and Tuttle gets his first NHL playoff goal ever.
Draw taken by Yanni, nearing to the St. Louis line. Roberts got it to Brindamore, and his pass picked off by Troy Murray, bouncing around at center ice, and another two-line whistle.
Well, this is vintage Blues hockey right now. They've slowed the pace down.
Behind Brian Sutter in the first row behind the Blues bench, the president, the chairman of the St. Louis Blues, Michael Shanahan. Who's done a great job to try to mend some of the fences that the Blues organization over the years possibly had difficulty with. Shanahan and his group hoping that down the road there might be a new arena in the works for the Blues team.
Done a marvelous job this year promoting the Blues. Best attendance record in a long, long while.
Here's Conroy, nearly coughing it up, and Ragland did steal. However, Graham right on top of him. Now back of the goal goes Gino Cavallini against Bob Murray. They wrestle to the corner, and the whistle will sound again as Lawler and Larmer wind up on the deck right in front of the Chicago net after a big collision. And the Blues, as you said, doing just what they don't mind doing, giving this crowd a dose of Sominex or some sort of sleep inducer. We've had about a dozen whistles in the first 6 minutes of the period.
straight altercations with Prince Edward Miners. A lot of two-line offside passes, a few icings mixed in with a few pucks going into the seats, and Blues score a goal quietly, and it's a 2-1 hockey game. Bucks dominated in the first period. St. Louis has slowed the pace down and made it very nervous for Chicago and its fans here in the lively stadium.
Here's Manson on the move at center, putting Presley over the line. Centered at Creighton. He shoots on and he shot it wide. Now Ragland cleared to center. Hawks dump it back in, and they're offside on the play. I think Gauthier blew the whistle there, and he's getting some heat from the Hawk bench again. But if the play is offside and it appears that the puck has any sort of chance to go in the net, they have to blow the whistle. Well, that's what Gauthier did, as he should have. Wayne Presley had a big series against his hometown team, the Detroit Red Wings. He had 8 points against Detroit. He is in search still of his first point here against St. Louis. Out there on the right side with Troy Murray and Bassett. It's Federico, Momesso, and Tuttle for the Blues. Out into the St. Louis zone. Manson going to chase it himself, but couldn't make a play. Momesso failed to get it out. Troy Murray a shot. And a save by Millen. Rebound to the near corner. Federico is bumped there. Now came free to Momesso. He clears it to the Chicago zone. Presley back. Clearing to center ice. Captured there by Roenick, whose speed is broken up. Then Troy Murray nearly stole it from Roberts. But Gord Roberts managed to roll it to the center ice area. Now Featherstone for Momesso over the line on Conroy, trying to barrel his way in. Centered one, and Federico too well covered by Manson. Out comes Presley. Presley gains the line, leaving for Thomas. Fires! He scores! Steve Thomas! It may have deflected past Millen, but the Blackhawks lead 3-1.
Good defensive coverage in Chicago's zone. Roenick was able to get the puck, get it up the middle to Presley. Presley, the drop pass. I think he meant it for Roenick, but it was Thomas who got it, and it hit the defenseman and deflected past Millen with Presley bearing in on him. And the last two shots have hit Blues defenseman and gone in. It clearly went in off Benning, and Millen had no chance as he was flopping around like a seal after it went by him. And the Blackhawks counter and make it a 3-1 lead with Thomas, his second goal of the playoffs.
Here's Creighton right over the line to Graham. Dirk Graham to the corner, trying to center it. Creighton knocked down at the side of the net. And now Tilly away for the Blues. Beating Zezel, who couldn't hold the pass. And it bounces over the glass and into the crowd. We're midway through the second period. It's Chicago 3, St. Louis 1. Let's pause for a regional break. This is Stanley Cup playoff hockey on Sports Channel.
Sports Channel profile, Mario Lemieux of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I feel that it's possible to score 100 goals if Gretzky scored 92 goals. When Flair did it before, or almost did it, I think it's possible to get 8 more goals in a season. That's a tough record to achieve, and it takes a hell of a team around you to accomplish that.
Mario Lemieux, heir to the throne of hockey superstardom, going for the ultimate goal, the Stanley Cup on Sports Channel.
Oh, with all these good-looking women, am I ever glad I brought the harness to hold you back, Patrick?
I might have to leave a little early tonight. So carry on, will you? Here's the draw cleared into the Chicago zone. Brown run over in the corner. Blues dig it out. Zezel centered it. Here's a shot. Block rebound. Right by the far post as Benning had a couple of whacks at it. Zezel in the corner. Got a hit from Conroy, who steals. Got it to the near side. Brindamore in after it. Centered one. Zezel knocked down. Couldn't pull the trigger. And Conroy then couldn't get it out. Here's Brett Hull. His pass hit a leg back to center ice. far side out to center and lines up deep in the St. Louis zone to Paul Cavallini. Pass, a weak one, picked off by Larmer, sending it into the Blues zone. Lawler harassed by Savard, fending him off with one arm, trying to stick handle with the other. He has difficulty doing that, but now does manage to shoot it into the Chicago end. Dave Manson is back. Manson looking to clear it, failed to get it out. Now Yanni will try. Gave it to Larmer, now Savard. Dennis Savard to Gilbert over the line, returning to Savard. His shot, and Millen had to duck out of the way of that. Here's Yanni, a long shot, that sails wide. Manson holding it in, cuts to the corner. Had it poked loose there, and Lowry, long feed to center. Here's Paslowski over the line. Manson from behind managed to tie him up. Mahar carries on, trying to center. Manson picked that off. Lowry back in the net now. He lost the handle, and it's held in by Lawler. Looking to center, one tip, deflected wide off the skate of Manson, and the Hawks finally clear it back into the Blues zone, and this will be an icing call against Chicago. And the stadium crowd is now back in this game.
In the first 6 or 7 minutes, the Blues did a good job of slowing things down. Scored a goal to make it 2-1. A lot of whistles, a lot of stoppages. After the Blackhawks score, things open up a bit. Paslowski with a great defensive play by Manson, who recovered nicely and rides him into the boards heavily. The Blues forcing the Blackhawks to run around in their own zone. They were able to get possession and finally clear. It's more spirited game from Dave Manson the last two than in game one, and maybe even throughout the whole series against Detroit.
Hawks dump it in. Here's Thomas hustling center one. It hit Creighton in front. He couldn't corral it. Millen does. A near miscue for the Blues around their goal. Millen appeared to want to play that and didn't really get anything on his deflection attempt.
It hit Creighton and almost deflected by him. Presley dumps it in. Thomas hacks at it. Deflected by Millen right up to Creighton and almost behind him.
At 8-10, Blackhawk goal scored by Thomas, assisted by Roenick and Presley at 8-10.
That goal, the third goal for the Hawks, is awarded to Steve Thomas. His first playoff goal. His second playoff goal from Roenick and Presley at 8:10 of the opening period, or of the second period. Now the draw right to Thomas, a blast up off the glass. Thomas can really fire it. He just missed the crossbar with that. Manson back of the net, knocked down, but he centered it, and then Momesso picked it off. Here come the Blues. Sergio Momesso rolls it in there deep. Yanni sends it around the boards to Presley. And a penalty, an altercation off the play. I think we're going to have coincidentals possibly coming up here again. With 9 minutes remaining in the second period, Chicago 3, St. Louis 1. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sports Channel.
Sports Channel Profile. Rick Tocchet of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Toronto fans were split with Montreal and Toronto, and I used to like the Montreal Canadiens. The reason I like Montreal is they could play it any way you wanted to play, tough, fast, or finesse. I've always loved Guy Lafleur, the way he played. He's got a flamboyant style about him, and he came to play every night, and it's good to see him back in the NHL again. He's definitely my favorite.
Rick Tocchet playing tough for Philadelphia as they go for the ultimate goal, the Stanley Cup on Sports Channel.
The fourth time in this period they've been offsetting minor penalties. Creighton and Momesso get involved. Cross-checking on Momesso, high sticking on Creighton. Times of the penalty 11:08. Momesso, the former Montreal Canadian, really rounding himself into solid shape here with the Blues. He's had a good playoff series against the Blackhawks.
The draw to Benning, his long shot. Chevrier, the blocker save. Federico battles his way to the corner. Shot it to the far side. Gilbert is there. Greg Gilbert goes ahead to Graham, bouncing loose into the Blue zone. Tom Tilley. There to not out, held in by Yanni. Around to the near side. Graham. Harassed passed along the boards. Now Gilbert dug it out, got it to Graham, and it's stolen away by Brindamore, whose pass is an offside play as Hull was in just ahead of the puck.
Brett Hull, no shots in game 1, 11 shots and a goal in game 2. He's yet to get a shot on goal in this game 3.
The Blues have only 6 shots on goal through 32 minutes of play. They've been outshot 16-6 so far, and trail in the game 3-1.
Brian Sutter hoping some of his intensity rubs off on his Blues players. Easy for me to say.
Basson between Thomas and Presley against the Zezel line for St. Louis. Now over the line, Pazlowski. There to the far side. Bouncing free back to the line. Held in there by Lawler. Now around the boards, and Basson trying to get it out, couldn't do it. Keith Brown will try to Basson, and he does whack it out to center ice, and the Blues back in offside. Game 4 back here in Chicago Stadium on Monday night.
Dave Lowry with 66 points. Peoria International League at 31 goals. He's played extremely well in this playoff series. Even though he hasn't scored a goal, he has been effective. Zezel played the first 2 games with Brett Hull. The first game had Momesso on his left wing. Now he centers Lowry and Pazlowski. Zezel had 53 points in 52 games for St. Louis and 17 goals. Had 6 goals in the first round against Minnesota. He's yet to get a point in this series against the Blackhawks. Souvenir shot up into the crowd.
Peter Zezel, you mentioned, trying to find the range in this series, but the Blues are oh so happy with that deal they made with Philadelphia to acquire Zezel. And as we mentioned the other night, most people around the St. Louis team feel that whenever Bernie Federko decides to hang him up, Peter Zezel is going to be their next captain. Here's Dave Manson back of the net with a farboard Basson, and now the net knocked off the moorings. And Chevrier wound up inside the goal, and Yanni and Zezel have words. And McCreary advising everybody that no need to do anything foolish right here.
Goaltenders are getting run over with these new nets. Most teams taking liberties, cutting in sharply to the net. Or with the old posts, a lot of players were reluctant to take that move to cut sharply and go to the net for fear of injury. Now they know they can't hurt themselves, so they run the goaltender over in the process. Chevrier was run over a couple of times in the series against Detroit. Seven and a half minutes remaining in the second period. A much slower pace in the second period than the first period. But a brief flurry in the middle part of the period, end-to-end action. That's about it. Blues have had 3 shots in each period. The Hawks have had 6 in this period, a total of 16.
Draw out to center, taken by Basson. Basson to the line, bumped there by Roberts. Ford Roberts ahead to Gino Cavallini. His speed too far, now picked up by Pazlowski, who shoots from a bad angle and shot it wide. Graham able to roll it out to center ice. Troy Murray trying to get to it, swept out away from him by Featherstone. Now Murray centered it, they score! Bob Basson tipped it in, and Troy Murray persevered to gather in the loose puck, and the Blackhawks lead 4-1.
Basson was open earlier, but Troy Murray couldn't get the handle on it after he stripped it away. Graham tied up Roberts along the boards. Troy Murray poked it away, couldn't get to it. Was swatted at. He gets to the corner. Basson slows up, and it goes right onto the stick. Quick pass from Basson, or I should say Troy Murray to Basson, and he tucks it in to give the Hawks a 4-1 lead. But Troy Murray's been excellent in the playoffs. He scored the overtime winner in the last game of the year, and that seems to have given him great confidence. He was tremendous against Detroit, shutting down Yzerman, and he's excellent in this series against St. Louis, getting his 4th assist.
Bob Basson's first playoff goal and point gives the Hawks a 3-goal lead. And, you know, Dale, we talked about that 80th game against Toronto. It was those two guys, Bob Basson with Troy Murray, and Keith Brown, who for the first time this season was shifted to right wing. It was that line that turned that game around in the third period with Chicago facing a 3-1 deficit. And Basson scored a key goal in that game to help the Hawks come back.
Basson with a big heart, a banger and a crasher. Kept out of the lineup for 3 straight games. And he's itching to play, and he's performed marvelously tonight.
Basson from Troy Murray and Graham at 12:51. And the Blues are in some trouble now. As we've pointed out several times this series, St. Louis is not an offensive-minded team. But now they find themselves in a come-from-behind situation with 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. It's Chicago 4, St. Louis 1 on Sports Channel.
John, where's the cooler?
In the truck.
Don't forget the scuba gear.
It's in the truck.
What about the beach bag, the binoculars?
Everything's in the truck.
Great.
The 1989 Toyota Extra Cab. Everything you expect of a Toyota and something you don't expect of a truck. Real backseat space.
Where's Neil?
In the truck.
Toyota. I love it.
During regular season play, St. Louis scored 275 goals. That was 16 out of 21 teams. They do not like to play an open style. If they do, they sit. Brian Sutter, a conservatively oriented coach. The Blues had a good defensive record. They struggled offensively, largely due to the style that they play. But here tonight, unless they can get back in it here in the tail end of the second period, they're going to need a big third. Here they come, though. Here's a shot and a save by Chevrier. Paul Cavallini right on the doorstep. A difficult chance for Chevrier with a wraparound backhander, or a turnaround backhander, and Chevrier went into the stack to hold him off.
The Hawks won the draw. Manson with a blind behind-the-back pass along the boards, intercepted by Fedorko, who got it out front. To Cavallini, who came in from his defense position, but had to go to the back end, didn't get much on it. Chevrier stacked the pads, made the save, and covered up in traffic. Bernie Fedorko coming off a great game in Game 2 with 2 assists, sets up Cavallini, but Chevrier with an excellent save. Only the 7th and 8th shots on goal in the hockey game.
Savard and Fedorko ready. And the draw over to the far side. Came loose in front. Here's a shot blocked at the defense, and it's underneath the fallen Blackhawk defenseman as Dave Manson sprawled in front of the goal to smother the scoring opportunity for St. Louis.
Chicago winning 2 faceoffs in a row, but both of them result in scoring chances for the Blues. And Manson just diving in front of it. Savard won the draw, came out of the corner, hit a skate, and Manson dove in front of it to block it before it got to Chevrier.
22-year-old Dave Manson. And if you joined us late, I'll repeat something I said earlier. In that double overtime game in St. Louis, there were almost 94 minutes of hockey played, and Dave Manson had 47 minutes of ice time. Yeoman work for the youngster, and ready for more tonight. There's Trent Yawney starting Chicago to center ice. He'll dump it in. Raul Cavallini winds it around the boards back to center. Oh, a scuffle right in front of the penalty box area. Nobody wants to advance it. McCreary letting them play on, and finally it came loose to Conroy, beating Basson over the line. Put it around to the near corner, and Graham. He's corralled there, and Lawler took it away to Federko, but he couldn't gain control. As Savard had him looked after, and Conroy to Graham, who dumps it in. Blues clear it to center. Dennis Savard there. Looking to gain the line. He did. Savard to Larmer. The pass slightly behind him. Larmer picks it up along the boards. Battles his way to the corner. Steve Larmer back in the goal to Savard, and put it back to the near side. Gilbert looking to pry it out of there, with the Blues control, and Herkus comes into the Chicago zone. Two Hawk defense collapse on him and take him off the puck. And it's hammered down into the Blues zone. It'll be an icing call against the Blackhawks. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the middle period. And the Hawks lead 4-1. Looking to maintain the home ice advantage they acquired when they won the opening game of this series in St. Louis.
Most intense coaches in the league, Sutter and Keenan, on their respective benches. He thinks his team is in great shape physically, and he preached that throughout the Detroit series, and it paid off. He's probably telling them that right now too.
And really, most importantly, the Blackhawk players feel like they have an advantage. So whether or not they do, if it's in your mind that you do, it's got to be a help.
Bob Murray was banished to Saginaw in the International League. All back up late in the year, played well. Not supposed to play in Game 1 of the playoffs against Detroit, dressed and played well, was one of the better performers, and has really been a steadying influence on the blue line, especially on the power play.
Troy Murray and Zezel now ready in the Chicago end. And they're having difficulty getting everybody lined up.
The story in Game 1, there were all kinds of delays. This period well over an hour long.
Dennis Savard getting some instruction from Mike Keenan to be passed along to his teammates. Came off the bench. McCreary really gave the evil eye as he passed the instructions along. Now ready, and finally the draw. Bounce right in front. Here's a shot. Rolled wide off the stick of Paslowski. Roberts to the deep slot. Tilly, his shot. Blocked by a sprawling Basson. The fearless Bob Basson once again, without regard for his body, sprawled to block a shot. Now Troy Murray clearing it into the St. Louis zone. Taken by Roberts. He lost the handle. Stolen by Roenick. And he went down, but he centered it right through the goal mouth as Murray couldn't get any wood on it. Now the Blues, Lowry away. Dave Lowry to Paslowski over the line. Left it for Brindamore, or Herkus rather, and his shot sailed just wide. Back comes Troy Murray. He'll slide it in deep. Lawler around the boards, but Presley held it in. Now Herkus got it back and clears the center ice. Two-line pass made by the Blues, and the whistle sounds with 3.5 minutes to go in the middle period. Hawks 4, Blues 1 on Sports Channel.
The moment. There
are those that take us by surprise. Sometimes real, or yet to be realized. That's why you can count on MasterCard at any given moment. In nearly 3 times the number of places as American Express. Wherever you happen to be, wherever the moment may find you. MasterCard. Master the moment.
3.5 minutes to go in the second period. Still the third period to go, and the dejected St. Louis Blues bench, everyone with their heads down. A 4-1 Chicago lead. A lot of opportunities remaining.
The Blues badly need a pick-me-up, but this one from Momesso sails wide. Back of the net it goes. Momesso dug it out, centered it, a shot. Chevrier, rebound, they score! The pick-me-up provided by Paul Cavallini. And again, Momesso behind the net does the board work. It's 4-2 in favor of the Blackhawks.
Cavallini taking many opportunities as a defenseman to pinch in and take chances. Was thwarted earlier on a backhand attempt. Momesso with the backhand pass. The shot by Cavallini and his great second effort as he was pushed to the ice by Conroy. And he gives the Blues back into this game, a 4-2 hockey game. Momesso with some excellent work on both goals and behind the net. And a great second effort, a great individual effort by Paul Cavallini to score on his second attempt.
That puts a little wind into the St. Louis Sails. A late second period goal to cut their deficit to a deuce. Here's the draw to Roberts. He rolled it to the Hawk line. Conroy bangs it back into St. Louis territory, and Tilly to play it. He's Roberts, and the veteran defenseman gave it to Momesso. Nearing to center ice. Roberts puts Herkus over the line. Back to Roberts into the slot. Lost the handle. Momesso, though, a shot. He shot it wide. Now taken by Herkus. Tony Herkus bounced it through to the far board. Taken there by Momesso. Back to the goal for Herkus. He overskates it, and Presley corrals for the Blackhawks, and they'll fire it back into the Blues zone. And Mike Lawler will have to play it. Lawler motors to center ice. Clearing it over the line. Now a centering pass, just missing Brindamore in front. Near side, Paul Cavallini centering right through the goal mouth, and Hall alone in front of the net couldn't get any wood on it. The Blues coming on strong at the tail end of the period. Brindamore back to the goal, harassed by Manson, then Hall centered it, a shot. Chevrier, big save on Herkus. Rebound is loose, then shot wide by Hall, and the Hawks able to clear it to center ice. The Blues, a strong finish to the second period, still a minute and a half left. But Thomas comes the other way, shooting. He shot it wide. Now Brindamore failed to get it out. Graham near corner. Centered one, it deflects behind the net. Big battle for it there, and at the side of the goal, Millen will corral it and take a whistle.
Goal is second of the playoffs, scored by number 14, Paul Cavallini. Assisted by number 27, Sergio Momesso, and number 35, Steve Tuttle at 16:40.
Tuttle and Momesso, their second points of the second period. Tuttle scored the first St. Louis goal from Momesso and Mahar. Cavallini had an excellent season. Led the team in plus-minus, was a plus 25. Chips in his second goal of the playoffs from Momesso and Tuttle at 16:40, and the Blues rejuvenated in an instant.
Wily veteran Greg Millen has now made 19 consecutive playoff starts for the Blues. Last time anybody other than Millen started a playoff game for St. Louis, Rick Wamsley in April of '87. And we talked earlier about Chevrier not feeling pressure, feeling like he loves postseason play. Here's a guy who I don't know if he's ever felt a whole lot of pressure, or if he does, he doesn't show it.
A lot of confidence. Millen was my goaltender in Pittsburgh his rookie year, and he was more than confident.
Matter of fact, I do believe that you Penguins initiated him possibly even more than once. Feeling like he was a little big for his britches. Amazing he's been around as long as he has, knowing that he opened his career with Dale Talon.
I thought it may have forced him into being a good goaltender.
Now Basson clearing it into the blue zone. Roberts can touch it for an icing call with 64 seconds left in the second period.
Basson on the left wing with Creighton at center. 1954, 1955 Chicago Blackhawks had those same two names in their lineup, except that Basson was in the nets. And Dave Creighton, Adam Creighton's father, scored 7 goals in that season, and it was his lone season with the Blackhawks. Basson comes by it honestly. His father never wore a mask.
1 minute to play in the period.
They're fearless in that family.
Now in the Chicago zone, here's Yanni to the left wing boards Basson. He rolled it to center. Larmer gets there, and it's ruled to be an offside play.
Well, it appeared that Basson touched the puck before Larmer. Basson was onside. A little bit of discussion by Steve Larmer, but he's certainly not going to win that argument.
Adam Creighton coming to the Blackhawks in a late season trade with the Buffalo Sabres. Took a while to get adjusted, as many players do. That's the first time he'd ever been traded, a first-round pick of the Sabres years ago. And once he got his sea legs with the Chicago team, a big, big plus for Mike Keenan's troops.
First time in playoff competition in his career, and he's performed. He's got 9 points on 5 goals in this, the 9th game. Last time he played in the playoffs was Memorial Cup, and he was the most valuable player in the playoffs in junior hockey.
Lawler with half a minute to go in the period in his own end. Leads Momesso. Rolling it to the neutral zone, and Brown puts it right back in. Gilbert to the far corner. Stopped there by Paul Cavallini. Blues looking to clear. Can't get it out of there, though. And back of the net it goes. Taken by Lawler, and he'll just stand there and let the period run out. Second period is in the books here in Chicago Stadium. In the second period, the Blues finished with 10 shots on goal. The Blackhawks had 9, and the 40-minute totals 19 shots for Chicago and 13 for St. Louis. 2 goals each way in the period. Tuttle got his first career playoff goal from Momesso and Mahar at 5:44 to put St. Louis on the board. Then Steve Thomas answered that for Chicago, his second playoff goal from Roenick and Presley at 8:10. Bob Basson scored his first goal of the postseason from Troy Murray and Graham at 12:51. And then a big goal for the Blues, Paul Cavallini, late in the period, scoring his second playoff goal, assisted by Momesso and Tuttle at 16:40 to get the Blues some life in the tail end of the period. News, weather, and sports update coming up on the radio side here in the second intermission. And on our Sports Channel Network, back to the Sports Nightly Studios and Lee Zeidman.
Thanks, Pat. I'm here along with Stan Fischler. Coming up between periods, we'll send you to Los Angeles to set the stage for tonight's doubleheader game.
And we'll go to Boston for a closer look at the Adams Division Final. Montreal reaching for the broom there.
You're watching the Stanley Cup Playoffs on Sports Channel.
Sports Channel profile, Wayne Gretzky of the Los Angeles Kings.
I'm real proud of what I've done over my 10-year career. I've won 4 championships, and the individual awards have been great honors for me. Mario wins, 5 championships and breaks all my records. I'd be the first to shake his hand. That's great. In the meantime, I'll just plug along and hopefully I can keep pace.
Wayne Gretzky, still the king of hockey, going for the ultimate goal, the Stanley Cup on Sports Channel. They've moved one step closer to the ultimate goal. Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh. Boston versus Montreal. Chicago versus St. Louis. Los Angeles versus Calgary. The Stanley Cup Division Finals, only on Sports Channel. Where can you find cable TV's newest source for up-to-the-minute sports scores, fast-breaking sports news, and highlights? The answer is Sports Nightly. Join Lee Seidman, Darrell Brunette, and Mike Breen before, during, and after each night's primetime event. You get updates on the evening's major sports events from the NHL to the NBA, baseball, and more. Plus, get expert commentary from our in-studio guests. Sports Nightly is cable TV's newest source for sports news, and you'll find it only on Sports Channel. Coming in May, it looks like basketball, feels like basketball, so it must be basketball. Presenting the World Basketball League. Get ready for a summer of exciting hoops action. The WBL's height limit of 6 feet 5 inches makes it a faster, more dynamic game, featuring some of America's top former college talent. The WBL also includes teams from Greece, Italy, and England, making it truly a World Basketball League. Look for it, starting in May, only on Sports Channel.
Welcome back to New York. Don't miss tonight's second game. Our doubleheader takes us to Los Angeles when this Blues-Blackhawks battle is complete. It's the Flames and the Kings. Calgary leads Los Angeles 2-0. Gretzky and company hope home ice will shift the momentum in the series. That game just getting underway. Flames scorched the Kings 8-3 Thursday in Calgary, a fight-filled affair. For a word on what to expect tonight, we switch to the Forum and Sports Channel's Jiggs McDonald.
The Los Angeles Kings return to the Great Western Forum tonight, down 2-0 to the Calgary Flames in the Smythe Division Final. We haven't seen Los Angeles bring the tempo of their game up anywhere near what it was in the opening round against Edmonton, Herb.
Well, that's right, Jig. This is not the same team that we've seen play against Edmonton. They're tentative. They're not creative. They're not taking the initiative. They're struggling on their specialty teams. They're just out of sync all over, and it's about time that we see the LA team that played so well against Edmonton.
Well, it's hard to bet against a Los Angeles team that features Wayne Gretzky, yet his team in overtime lost Game 1 in Calgary, then were thoroughly trounced in almost every aspect of Game 2. Gretzky, all he could do was watch as a man by the name of Doug Gilmour basically took this LA team apart.
Well, he really did, and this guy, along with Joey Mullen and their other winger, Colin Patterson, dominated LA throughout the year. They've got to keep him in check, and especially Gilmour, because he is the magician, and he will sort of orchestrate, you know, the rest of his line mates.
Calgary won Game 2 by a score of 8-3, and here's the report card.
Well, the report card, we have to give Kelly Hrudey a C. This was an atypical performance by him. Calgary specialty teams were outstanding. Their defensive core, I'm giving them B, not because they were bad, but they weren't really tested. The forwards on Calgary did the things they had to do. They went to the net. They caused confusion. They shot the puck when they had to. The strategy of both clubs, I thought, was outstanding, but the strategy was not implemented, you know, properly. The intangibles, well, I got to go to the Kings. They're back here, and they're tough in this building, plus Hrudey has not lost here.
So as you take a look at that report card, you see that Calgary dominates just about the same way they did in Game 2. Game 3 is coming up here at the Great Western Forum, and we'll have all the action for you. Stay tuned. It'll be live on Sports Channel.
Okay, Jakes, thanks much. Of course, we're going to keep you updated on the action from the Great Western Forum throughout the evening and take you there to see it live as soon as the Blues and the Blackhawks complete their contest. Sports Channel Stanley Cup coverage continues with a look at the Adams Division Final after this.
This Stanley Cup score update is being brought to you by your Toyota dealer. Whatever car or truck you choose, you'll love the quality. Who could ask for anything more? MasterCard. You can count on MasterCard to help you master the moment. And Northwest Airlines, serving more of Asia than any other U.S. airline.
Now, move into select Mercury models and get 2.9 annual percentage rate financing. Or get $1,000 cash back on Mercury Tracer, $750 cash back on Sable, or $600 cash back on Mercury Topaz and Mercury Cougar LS. Make the move. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
CCM 651 Tax. The only skate with vacuform, heat molded to the exact shape of your foot. The only skate with heel lace, dual lacing that locks in perfect fit to transmit your power and control directly where you need it most, right into your game. 651 Tax by CCM. Turn on the power.
Introducing Kodacolor Gold 100.
See your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors.
New Kodacolor Gold 100 gives you the most accurate colors, the truest colors of any print film.
True colors are beautiful like a rainbow.
Boston Bruins have their backs to the proverbial wall, and history is against them. Only once in 19 playoff series dating back to World War II have the Bruins defeated Montreal. Canadiens can sweep the Adams Division title with a fourth straight win tomorrow night. Sports Channel's John Sapichetti has more.
The Bruins and Canadiens have played 3 close, exciting games in this Adams Division final, but Montreal has been just a little better, winning each game by a single goal.
We've just been had the 51-49% edge each game, and that's given us a 1-goal lead. I really haven't looked at enough things to break it down. We've just been a stride better each night.
I think we work a week on the positioning, on the 3-on-3 situation, 5-on-5, and I think it pays off now. Everyone is playing really well defensively.
Boston has played well enough to win any or all 3 contests, but failing to do so while playing solid hockey makes this situation even more frustrating.
It's unfortunate. We're working so hard down in their end, and one rush by them, and they make it pay off. But that's why they're 3 games up. They've been playing that way the whole way, and they capitalize on every opportunity you give them.
Sunday night at Boston Garden, the Bruins will face elimination, while the Canadiens will be looking for their 2nd consecutive series sweep and a spot in the Wales Conference Finals.
I think we got to come out a lot harder than we did tonight. We kind of waited a little bit tonight. We were hesitant first part of that game. Coming close and not winning isn't good enough, and I think it's just to show how good a team they are right now and how well they're playing. Coming close and still pulling games out on their part shows you that they're doing little things to win games.
From Boston Garden, I'm John Sapichetti, Sports Channel.
Game 4 tomorrow night here on Sports Channel. Face-off of the hallowed Boston Garden set for 7 o'clock. Check local listings for the game in your area. If you don't see Montreal-Boston, you will see the Flyers face off with the Penguins. Also a 7 o'clock start. Penguins lead that Patrick Division title series 2-1. Send you back to Chicago, period 3 after this.
Sports Channel profile, Wayne Gretzky of the Los Angeles Kings.
That I worked hard every game, and I would just hope that when I leave the game, people look at me and not look at my statistics or the championships. I want them to look at me and say he worked hard every game and played on a winner.
Wayne Gretzky making a lasting impression on the game of hockey and chasing the ultimate goal, the Stanley Cup, on Sports Channel. The field of 16 is reduced to 8, and the NHL's hottest teams move one step closer to the ultimate goal, the Stanley Cup. There's non-stop action every night of the week.
Wetmore races for the puck. Can't get it by Cardinal. He shoots. He scores!
The excitement of sudden death overtime, clutch goaltending, and bone-crushing body checks fill the air. And there's only one place where you'll find the ultimate coverage of the ultimate goal, the Stanley Cup playoffs, on Sports Channel. Sports Channel profile, Craig Janney of the Boston Bruins.
I think last year in the playoffs, after we won the 7th game in the locker room, realizing that we were going to the Stanley Cup, you joined the team with a month left, after the Olympics, myself and Bobby Joyce, and then all of a sudden we're in the Stanley Cup Finals. What you dream about when you're a little kid, probably going to the Stanley Cup Finals, and you're in it. So it was great for them.
Craig Janney living a childhood dream and going for the ultimate goal, the Stanley Cup, on Sports Channel.
4-2 Chicago through 40 minutes of play here in Game 3 in Chicago Stadium. The Blackhawks took a 2-0 lead into the middle period, but it was St. Louis that was able to strike first and cut that Hawk lead in half as a rookie came through big for the Blues.
The Blues slowed the pace down dramatically. They finally lulled the Blackhawks to sleep. A harmless-looking play, but Momesso with a quick pass out to Tuttle. The Hawks had everyone back, but they were in too deep, and Tuttle snuck in to make it 2-1 at 5:54. Momesso and Mahar got the assist. The Blackhawks came right back to a drop pass from Presley to Thomas. It deflected off Benning and past Millen at 8:10. That made it 3-1 Chicago. Thomas's second from Presley and Roenick. And then at 12:51, Dirk Graham tied up Roberts. It was poked away by Troy Murray. Couldn't get to the puck. It was swatted into the corner. He continued on. Saw Basson alone in front. Quick pass and a shove-in shot by Basson. That made it 4-1 at 12:51. Basson from Troy Murray and Graham. And then late in the period at 16:40, some good forechecking by the Blues. Momesso again in behind. Out front to Cavallini, who came in from his defense position. Great second effort, great individual effort by Paul Cavallini to give the Blues renewed optimism in life to make it a 4-2 hockey game.
Now the Blues have managed only 13 shots in the first 40 minutes of this hockey game. They're going to need a big offensive period here in the third.
Well, they're not a team that likes to come from behind. They're a team that likes to protect the lead, but they're going to take some chances. But probably the first 5 minutes, they'll see how the situation develops and then go from there.
Getting ready for the third period. The Hawks lead 4-2. Back in a moment.
The moment. There are those our lives endure, and those our hearts endear. So whether it's the moment you need cash, or a moment meant to share, you can count on MasterCard in nearly 3 times the number of places as American Express. Wherever you happen to be, wherever the moment may find you. MasterCard. Master the moment.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it. With Son of a Gun Protected from STP. If your dash looks dull, shoot it. Your seats are shot, shoot them. Your tires look flat, heck, shoot them too. Don't leave your roof a wreck. Give it some luster. Give your car high caliber protection with Son of a Gun from STP. Son of a Gun, what a difference.
Hi, I'm Ron Hextall of the Philadelphia Flyers with reason number 27 to enjoy NHL hockey. Great goaltending.
Wayne with the glove.
Oh, my, just at the heel of the stick on it. Short-handed bit here. Do you believe it? He shoots. Peters with a glove save. Save, Hextall. What a stop by Levelin.
Get the action, reaction. Watch NHL hockey.
Whipdale talent, Pat Foley back in Chicago Stadium. The Blackhawks own a 4-2 lead over the St. Louis Blues as we get ready for third period action.
Tomorrow on Sports Channel, more Stanley Cup playoff action comes your way with Game 4 of the Patrick and Adams Divisional Final Series. The Pittsburgh Penguins will battle the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Montreal Canadiens will face off with the Boston Bruins. The action for both matchups starts at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, right here on Sports Channel. Please check your local listings for the regional playoff coverage in your area.
Millen has faced 19 shots. Chevrier has faced 13. And here we go with the third period. Faceoff cleared down into the Blackhawk zone, and it's going to be an early icing call against the Blues.
Blackhawks are 3-0 when leading after 2 periods in playoff competition. The Blues have come from behind in 1 contest this year in playoffs competition.
The St. Louis Blues, we mentioned, not a great come-from-behind team. And through 40 minutes of play, St. Louisdale has only 3 forwards that have managed a shot on goal. Brett Hull has 3. The rookie Lowry and the rookie Tuttle each have 1. 5 shots on net from their entire core of forwards. Here's the draw, long shot deflected, and it dribbled through the goal mouth. Now Blues look to clear and do shoot it back into the Hog zone. It's going to be another icing call against St. Louis. So 5 shots on goal from the St. Louis group of forwards. Meanwhile, turning the tables, the Blackhawks have 15 shots on net from their group of forwards through the first 2 periods. Troy Murray between Graham and Thomas. Zezel has Momesso and Tuttle out there. Has room to center ice. Ward Roberts steps over the Hawk line, trying to fend off a check, but lost the handle. Then Tuttle held it in. Back of the goal, Manson. His pass hit Momesso and rolled right through the goal mouth, and out come the Hawks. Troy Murray dumps it into the Blues zone. Thomas trying to make a pass, but it's picked off by Tilly. And now here's Zezel for St. Louis. Peter Zezel dumping it in, hit Brown, deflected wide of the net. Momesso rings it around the boards. Larmer corrals and clears. And the Blues will dump it right back in. Larmer on right wing, tied up, trying to hold the puck, and Mahar stole it. Back of the net to Hull. He centered it, picked out of midair by Chevrier, and he will hang on for a whistle. They're getting underway in Los Angeles, and on Sports Channel we have an update from the LA-Calgary game.
Poor defense for the Kings. Hurts them early on. No checking. Kelly Hrudey is screened. That lets Jamie McCowan just walk in with the puck. He'll fire it past Kelly Hrudey. 1-0. The Flames on top at the Forum. Let's go back to St. Louis.
The Flames looking to put a stranglehold on their playoff situation against LA. Take a 1-0 lead.
Now the draw in the Hog zone. A quick shot deflecting up high. Chevrier blocked it to the far corner. Mahar centered it. Hall, his shot deflected wide. Savard feeds Larmer on the right wing boards. Steve Larmer beautifully around one check, then shoots it in, hoping for Basson. Millen out to play it as he diagnosed the play and got it off the end boards and smothered. And Millen did well to make that effort because Basson had a step on his man. We mentioned Bob Basson. This is his first game of this series. He has not been benched because of any dissatisfaction from the Chicago coaching staff. They're trying to save this kid. We've talked about how fearless he is. He was knocked cold a couple of times in the Detroit series. Did not play in the 6th game just because they were trying to get him back to full strength physically. And Mike Keenan said that when he was in Philadelphia and Basson was with the Islanders, the bigger the game was, the more fearless Basson became. And it's a situation where you have a young man that weighs about maybe 165 or 70, plays like a 200-pounder, and really pays the price. So they're trying to preserve him and prevent any injury. Here's Larmer. And a center one picked off by Roberts. Lord Roberts harassed, and Savard took it away, but Featherstone stepped into him. Now on the far side. Big battle along the boards. Bob Murray battling with Brindamore. Larmer in after it. He's knocked down. And Bob Murray looking to center one. Bounce to Savard. A long flip shot blocked out in front. Now Brindamore failed to clear it. Bob Murray tees it up. Shooting. Deflected. Nice save by Millen on a shot that was redirected. And the Blues clear it back into the Chicago zone. Taken by Manson. Got it into the St. Louis zone. And the race is on. And Lawler, they say, touched at first for an icing call. Still very early in the 3rd period. Chicago 4, St. Louis 2 on Sports Channel.
see your true colors shining through. Don't be afraid to let them show.
If a dream is worth saving, it's worth Kodacolor Gold Film.
A lot of discussion about this last play, an icing call. Creighton thought he had touched the puck before Lowry. The officials ruled that Lowry just got there before Creighton, so face-off deep in the Hawk zone to the left of Chevrier.
You make a good point. He's been very strong in the first two games tonight. A good performance, not a typical Fedorko performance, though. Not as strong as he was in game two. Here's the draw, taken by Conroy. Steve Conroy clearing it into the blue zone. Paul Cavallini has to hurry with Creighton in hot pursuit. Now Lawler trying to hoist it, and he did to center ice. Back to Lawler in his own zone. Basson tied him up in the corner. Now Cavallini came to help out with Pazlowski. He flips it in there, and Chevrier cleared it himself right to Creighton, putting it into St. Louis territory. Mike Lawler ahead to Fedorko. Bumped by Yanni, who takes it away nicely and get it to Steve Thomas. Thomas to center ice. Now trying to move in on Tilly and couldn't do it. Fedorko rolled it to center, and Hawks hammer it back in. Tilly shot it to the near side. Hall. Brett Hall gains the line. Trying to move in front. He does. He cuts for the net. Shoot. And a save by Chevrier. A great rush from Brett Hall. And Chevrier shut the door. Graham the other way with a drive. And Millen steers that to the corner. Taken by Roberts. Beating Zezel. Peter Zezel over the Hawk line. His shot deflects into the near corner. Zezel after it there. Got help from Roberts, and Zezel centered it, and Hall shot one wide. Out comes Larmer. Larmer feeding for Savard. He's in. Savard, a front of a slash. He scored! Dennis Savard was slashed and still got in to fire it by Millen. Second goal of the game for Savard. 5-2 Chicago.
Great pass from Steve Larmer, right on the money. Savard on the off wing, right on the blue line. Cuts around a two-hander, a vicious two-hander. Savard used his body beautifully to shield the puck and then tucks it past Miller. But how important is goaltending? Chevrier makes a big save on Brett Hall. Hawks counter, come back. Savard takes the slash and scores the goal to make it a 5-2 Chicago lead. Perfect pass from Steve Larmer. Hard and right on the tape. Tilly desperately trying to slash Savard, but Savard able to shield the puck and flip it in past Millen.
Dennis Savard, during an injury-marred season, scored 23 goals. He's got 6 in the playoffs now, including 2 tonight.
And 17 total points in every playoff game.
Dennis Savard, now in his career, has played 72 playoff games, has scored 44 goals in 72 games in the postseason, and he has achieved 98 points in 72 games.
How about 16 goals in 18 playoff games against the Blues?
And St. Louis in trouble now, trailing by a field goal. Tuttle in his own end. Got it to center ice. Manson there. Cleared it back in. It's going to be an icing call against Chicago. We're 5 minutes into the third. It's the Blackhawks 5, the Blues